Just poppin'! Real WQ Army, guys. What's up, gamers? You just changed the world, guys. You just joined the WQ Army, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and become an alpha gamer when you do. That's crazy, man. Gamers, yesterday I made a video titled Natural Gameplay, the Clutch Factor. This is the clutch factor, okay? It is the clutch factor. It's making you win. It's making you succeed through clutchness, okay? And this video is incredible, and I proved it last night. After making the video, I actually proved my own argument. Wow. So I'm gonna go home and show you guys that later in this video. It's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty huge deal, gamers. Okay, you don't want to miss out on this stuff. Now I'm smiling, guys, because I'm freaking out. You don't want to miss out on this, okay? You don't want to lose out on this. Make sure to hit the notification bell, okay? That's gonna alert you when I upload new videos tomorrow. It's gonna be freaking incredible, okay? Because we're on a completely crazy tangent, a completely crazy tear, and we're right here in the natural world. There's that virus thing going around everywhere. I don't even care. I'm not worried about it at all. It will do nothing to me. I don't care at all. Let's talk about something more important. It's called gameplay, and it's called gaming, and it's called you gaming right now, okay? Wow, dude. Yes, this is freaking incredible, freaking phenomenal. I mean, we got some powerful comments yesterday. One person in the comments was arguing, I like your argument, I like the idea of the argument, but the name is wrong. Now, gamers, let me address this, because people have brought this up before. I don't have a background in philosophy. I don't really care. I make up my own terms. If it makes sense and it works in real time, it's gold. It's truth. Okay? I don't care about other people's terms. Am I gonna bend to their terms? Am I gonna use their definitions? No, that's stupid. I'm gonna use my own definition. So if you don't agree with my arguments based on terminology that you didn't create, that I don't care about, I can't help you there. But yeah, so that's my opinion on the terminology stuff. For anybody wondering. Now, at the same time, he did bring up a really good point. He was talking about actionability. He's like, hey, I like this term actionability, WQ, that you brought forward. Okay, actionability, I really like that term, dude. You're completely correct. It's one of the best terms ever, and I created this term myself. So actionability is about being able to do something, right? Being able to actualize something. That's huge. It's critical because it proves or it makes something natural, right? It puts something into the natural continuum, and it's something that you actually wanted to put into it. That's why it's so cool, because you actually are changing the world. You're actually changing the timeline. That's sick. Also, he brought up a point about determinism, and this is the one that I have gotten in debates before in the past. But the way I look at determinism, guys, I don't know. It's there. I don't argue it. I'm on neither side. I don't care. Personally, I don't believe in determinism. But arguments definitely don't believe in determinism. I mean, look at my arguments. I'm about winning, right? I'm about success. I'm about winning. I'm about like, hey, this strategy's good. This strategy's bad. Like, I have a world record. You're worse a player than me. That is not determinism. Determinism means there's no, everything's the same, right? Because nothing matters. Everything's determined. That's not the case at all for me. Like, I'm doing good strats, I'm winning, I'm out here grinding, I'm making money. Like, you are, like, that's definitely not determinism. So I don't believe in it, like, clearly, but no opinion on it. Like, if you want to believe in it, go for it. But he was talking about actionability, and like, this is, again, it's very important, because it actually puts something into the natural continuum, which is crazy. Now, the thing with actionability, you need to be able to actualize it. You need to be able to do it, and so strategies gain value if they are mechanically doable, if they're highly mechanically doable. Reliability as well, is another word. These words, it means it gains value. So it goes up on the value scale, the value system, which is huge. And we're gonna go into the strategy later. When I go back to my crib, we're gonna look at the strategy later. Yo, guy is playing jazz music. That's crazy, dude. Can you guys hear that? I think that's Beethoven's 69 symphony gamers. No. Yeah, actionability and reliability, it's very critical, it's very pivotal for this argument. Now, gamers, my arguments are not about consistency, and they're not about actionability. They're not actually about actionability, and the reason for that is because simply doing something, it doesn't matter. If you do something and you fail, it doesn't mean it's good. You need to win and do something, right? So if you completely guess and it's completely random and you're wrong at every term, but you end up doing the right inputs, you win, right? So I would say that's good, even though you did everything incorrectly. The problem with that is it's effectively impossible to recreate. Plus, if someone else has a skill set, unless it's literally random, and you just get really lucky over a short period of time, you're gonna lose, right? This is not a reliable skill set, and it would mean you're not truly good at what you're doing, because if you're good at what you're doing, you could recreate it, right? You could reliably recreate it. And if you can reliably recreate it, it means you're good at the game, you have a skill set. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys. I'm trying to teach you guys to change your brain so that you can create strategies that are reliable, that you can recreate, so that you can consistently get good results. And then after getting good results, you realize, wow, I'm actually good at the game. I'm actually good at what I'm doing. Instead of trying to get a result and then use that result to go back into your ego and be like, wow, I'm good at the game because I got the result. No, it doesn't work like that. You want to realize you're good at the game after you develop the skill set, and natural gameplay is a cheat. It's just a cheat engine. I'm just telling you how to cheat in reality. Okay, I'm saying, like, look, if you just develop these strategies that are highly natural, highly recreatable, highly reliable, you can actualize them. You're going to start winning. You're going to start winning, and you're like, wow, I'm actually really solid at this. Well, I actually know what I'm doing. I know what I'm looking for. And that's another thing about natural gameplay. It's not about consistency. It's about finding the best strategies in reality, in a real-time function, in a theoretical, in a task situation. There's a method to optimizing a strategy. There's a method to finding out the strategy, right? That doesn't work in real time. In real time, you gotta scale it down a little bit. You gotta downgrade it a little bit, because you can't do these frame perfect strats in a task, that you can do in a task environment. You can't do those in real time. So in a real time environment, you've gotta downgrade everything marginally. And that's interesting. Do you see what I'm saying, gamers? So in order to optimize something in real time, it has to be slower than a task environment, so because it's way more complex. You can't simply max out the numbers and be like, okay, look, it's the best strategy. You have to find a middle ground. You have to find a balancing point in a real-time environment. Well, how do you find that real-time environment, right? That's what natural gameplay does. That's what finding something that's reliable and actionable and fast. That's, and, you know, in a melee match in League of Legends, it's not about speed. There's other values. That's how you find that middle ground, right? Yo, it's bobbin', gamers. WQQQQWRT here, guys. Real Alpha Gamer here, and it's the most important message I've ever told you in my life. Okay, this is it. Right now, you are changing the world. We're changing the world. Okay. Natural gameplay. This is the difference between consistency, which is an evil word. It's a evil, heretic word, and natural gameplay, which is a blessing from Jesus Christ. Consistency is reactive. Natural gameplay is proactive. Okay, there's a biggest difference. People say, well, what's the difference between reliability and consistency? I have literally had people come up to me and tell me, well, I understand natural gameplay, but isn't it kind of obvious? Like, just make your stats more consistent and then you win? Like, that seems kind of obvious, right? And I'm just like, oh my God. You completely don't understand natural gameplay or anything about it. Wow. Wow, I need to make more videos on this stuff. I need to tell more people. Gamers, that's a reactive approach. Okay, first of all, it's a reactive approach mentally. If I tell you this is how natural gameplay works and you're like, well, I understand that, I already know that, it makes a lot of sense, obviously, that's a reactive approach. You go into your strategies and you go into your gameplay, you'll make no difference. There's no difference in your gameplay, right? Because that's not actually how you think, you're just judging how I think, which is great, I think that's great, but you're not changing how you think, right? Natural gameplay is a proactive approach where I'm like, whoa, dude, I just had an epiphany. This is wrong, this is wrong, this is not consistent enough, this could be faster, this could be more efficient, this could be more natural. I change everything. See, I see it's proactive, it's completely different. Now, I'm gonna make a video on this separately tomorrow because it's just it's too big of a video. We're gonna make its own separate video tomorrow on this, guys. So actually I might play Final Fantasy VIII tomorrow, the day after. Okay, my next video is gonna be on this reactivity, consistency versus reliability. Never say the C word. Never say the C word to a natural gamer, they will laugh at you. They will mock you, guys. You never wanna be in that position. But gamers, this is why finding this strategy is such a big deal. Because people have been speedrunning this game for a decade, and from what I understand, I've never heard of this. I've never seen anybody do this. I've never seen any movement tech in this game similar to this, and yes, it's Final Fantasy VIII. I've never heard of this. People have been speedrunning it for a decade. That's because 99.999% of people think in terms of their ego. They think in terms of success rates, and they're like, okay, I need to do something, therefore I did it, now my ego goes up, that means I can do it all the time, right? And if I fail it, I just need to try again. And I'm thinking, like, that makes no sense. That makes no sense at all. That's an output-based mentality. That's a losing situation. I'm thinking in an input-based mentality. I'm like, okay, this strategy is not reliable, it's not consistent. I need to find the fastest, reliable way to do it so that in a run I can actualize my gameplay, naturalize my gameplay, and actually succeed, and actually start clutching runs out. Here's the strat, guys. We're gonna go home. I'll show you the strat right now. Yo, guys, Real WQ here, guys. You are looking at right now one of the hardest movement screens in Final Fantasy VIII. I need to go up and then to the right and cross this bridge. The problem is, if I hit diagonal, I get stuck right before I cross the bridge. It's really annoying. And if I press up slightly and then right, I still get stuck. So this screen actually is quite challenging to do. On top of that, usually what happens is if you just try to do it in a run, you go past the bridge. This is because of the screen transition. So if I hold up and then right, I actually go way too far past the bridge. And you can't see your shadow because of the camera angle, so it can be kind of hard to get across this bridge. It ends up losing a lot of time usually, and on top of that, every time you take a step, it advances the step counter, and you get closer to getting an encounter, which loses even more time. So on the very advanced step counters, which are much tighter and require good movement, and on top of that, if you're trying to get good times, you really don't want to be throwing time away on the screen. You're going to want a consistent strategy for the screen. Problem is, there are really no good consistent strategies for it. Even the world record completely failed this room. But I found a strategy that is way easier and more consistent than anything else. All you do is hold upright on the screen and the triangle button. Now keep in mind, if you hold upright, you get stuck. But if you hold triangle, Quistis takes a single step walking, and then for some reason, if you let go of triangle, literally you just briefly hold the triangle button. If you let go of the triangle button, she actually snaps into the bridge. So I'll show you guys. I'm holding triangle here, and right when I see it fade in, I'm gonna let go, and she snaps right into the bridge. I don't know why this is a thing, but it's pretty sick. It's really nice, and it turns a screen that's very, very difficult into a screen that's very easy to do. And I figured this out yesterday, just practicing the game, and that's kind of mind-blowing to me because nobody in the past 10 years of this game's history has figured out a way to do this room reliably and consistently, recreatably. Most people just guess. Most people just hold up and right and try to time it. This is what happens when you try to time it though. You always get stuck. It's incredibly difficult to time. And if you go too far, it's the same problem. Where you are now, okay, hold up. You're now up here and then you have to like work your way back somehow. This is actually natural, this is reliable, this is functional. It's barely slower in real time. It is actually slower, right? I'm walking for a few frames instead of running. It's barely slower. Who cares? It's reliable. It's natural. That's what matters. This is an effect. This is an example of natural gameplay, and this is definitely drastically improves my runs. We'll see how effective this is in runs because runs are completely different than practice. People always practice failing runs, and they're like, "Well, why am I failing in runs? I practice it. I should be getting it right." Low IQ opinion there. Run is very different than practice. Imagine doing something an hour straight. You're warmed up on it. You're mentally ready. You're ready for visual cues. You're not under stress. And then you go into a run where it could be 10 minutes in the run, 30 minutes in the run, 3 hours in the run. You're under severe mental stress. You're not warmed up at all. You might forget your visual and audio cues. It's like, well, they're completely different things. So we'll see how this goes in runs. I have a good feeling that I'll get it because this is basically completely free. Alright guys, thanks for watching my game-changing, life-changing tutorial on natural gameplay, how to naturalize your gameplay and change your gameplay, upgrade your gameplay, get more consistent gameplay, get better gameplay, get more effective gameplay, get more for your time. Practice for 1 minute, practice for 5 minutes, don't practice for 10 hours, and get less out of it. Guys, these people have been spearheading this game for a decade and nobody figured this out yet. I figured it out within 10 minutes of practicing last night. Why did I figure it out? Because I needed a strategy that was better than guessing on hitting a right input, failing it a million times in runs. I needed a better strategy. So I started to look into the mechanics. I figured out a mechanic that works. It's slightly slower. Technically, it's way faster in reality, right? Natural reality. Anyway, peace out, gamers. Make sure to win and naturalize your gameplay.